Are you freaking kidding me, Aya? He'd gone ahead and done something extremely useless now. It's because of you that my date that I was going on was a complete bust.
Why are you blaming me for that? I just happened to send something you had forgotten to your address while you were on that business trip. But lo and behold, you haven't even been on a business trip, rather you went off to have an affair. You should start by apologizing to me for that.
Huh? You're the one who should be apologizing to me.
What?
I was just going out to see that woman for a good time out. You ruined it. And right as she had come over to see me at the hotel, she found out because of what you sent me that I'm a married man and left. It's all because of you that the money I spent to get this hotel and be with her all went to waste.
So you're not going to apologize to me then? You were the one hiding me from her, all so that you could cheat on me. And you lied about going on a business trip, all to cover up the fact that you were going on a trip with her.
What's wrong with me cheating on you? All of us men are doing it now, and it's not something you should be getting upset over.
Huh?
Actually, I was doing a pretty good job hiding it all from you. All in order to keep my cheating from ever hurting you. But you went out of your way and found out about how I'd been with another woman. This is all your fault, Aya.
What the heck, Hudson? You already stabbed me in the back, and now you're saying things like that to me? Normally, one would be saying that they are sorry to me after doing something as crazy as that. That's all I've been waiting to hear from you, Hudson.
Why should a husband ever have to apologize to his wife? You should definitely be the one apologizing to me. Say you're sorry for being a wife that can't seem to read the air.
Excuse me?
I'd planned for this trip to be a way to become even closer to my girlfriend. In order to do that, I made sure to get us the best hotel room that place could offer me. But because of you just wasted all my time and money that I put into this trip. Don't you think it's only right that you should apologize to me for that?
This is getting way too crazy now, Hudson. Are you actually being serious right now? This is your third time this year now that you've been caught cheating on me. What the hell are you trying to do here?
I'm doing whatever I want. That's what. I already have to work most of my life away doing a job that I can barely ask myself to do. So it's only fair that I'm allowed to do what I want where I want to. And it all has nothing to do with you.
What?
Just because you have a better job than me that you actually like doesn't give you the right to treat me like this. Because remember this, no matter how well you're doing in your career, having a husband that cheats on you makes you the worst of the worst when it comes to women. You're the kind of crappy woman who can barely keep her own husband around you.
Huh?
Oh, and to make yourself look even more crappy, you went and got in the way of your husband and his girlfriend. I have no choice now but to stay at this hotel by myself and wait for my vacation to be over before coming back to you. And since I'll have some time on my hands now, I might go out and find myself a cute younger woman around this area. So while I'm at it, don't you dare get in my way again, you crappy woman.
Hey, Aya. What exactly is going on here? What was I hearing from you? Did you really just tell me that my son has been cheating on you? And that is correct. Apparently he's now cheated on me 3 times this year. Or at least that's how many times I've caught him doing it. At this point, I'm pretty much done being his wife. But every time I want to tell him things are over with us, he tries too hard to get me back, saying that he will never do that to me again. That's why I was hoping that this time you could say something to him that will get him to let me go. You want me to tell him to stop cheating on you for your sake as his wife? Well, listen here, Aya. It's your fault for letting my boy cheat on you. I will not listen to you try and act as though you're the victim to all of it. What? I have been hearing a lot of things from Hudson lately about you. He's told me that you got a promotion within the company you're working for. And because of that, you've been making more than he does every month, right? Yeah, I've finally been promoted to a department manager. Due to all the work I'm having to do now and the responsibilities that I have, I'm making around $200,000 a year. Well, so you're making that kind of money now? What I'm seeing here is that even though you are Hudson's wife, you are now making more than him. I think it's right of my son to be cheating on you for being as audacious as that. Wait a second. What? Why am I being blamed for him cheating on me? All I've been doing is working my best to move up in the company for both Hudson and myself. Yet you're telling me that it's my fault that my husband is cheating on me? That's right. As a wife, your job is to walk behind your husband, not in front of him. However, right now you are walking in front of him, making more money than he is. You've really gone and hurt my son's pride now because of that. You are a failure as a wife in my family. What? You think that just because you can work well within that company that you're better than he is? There's no meaning behind a woman making the kind of money you are at the moment. It's because you have all those responsibilities now at work that you can no longer focus on your husband or bear any kids for him. You are not only a failure as a wife, but a failure as a woman in general now. There's no way. I have just been doing my best to make a great future for Hudson and I. Really, you are a huge problem for my son and I. Not only have you gone and left the nest behind in order to make more money than your husband, but you even allowed for him to start cheating on you. I feel so sorry for my poor little baby, having to have a monster like you as his wife. He had no choice but to go out and find himself another woman behind your back. So you don't feel any bit of sorrow for me? Huh? I've been putting all my time and effort into working that job in order to support my husband. But right as I've been showing my worth to him as his wife, you both are going to blame me and call me a bad wife? And you're totally fine with him cheating on me because I'm the one that's made him cheat? I should be the one you feel sorry for, not him, right? Well, if you feel that we should feel bad for you, then maybe it's time you leave my son for good. You can go ahead and divorce him, and not one of us is going to complain. What? It seems to me that my son is very attractive to the ladies if he's able to cheat on you with that many women. So if you were to divorce him right now, neither of us would bat an eye. If anything, that would make the perfect chance for my son to find a proper woman to make his wife. Are you being serious right now? I am. I really believe that we are better off without you. We have no need for a wife that's going to cry and complain all the dang time. I think it's time Hudson and I have a change in the family. Is that what you think? I understand then. I would actually like to go home to my parents now. I happen to be hated by both my mother-in-law and my husband now, so there's no point in sticking around. That's right. Go ahead and run off back to your parents. And don't you ever come back to us. I hope you'll take the time back at your parents' place to think about just how horrible of a wife you really were. Hey, Aya! What do you think you're doing staying at your parents' place for that long? I am tired of you staying quiet and hiding from us. What? Is this you, Shelley? Been a rather long time now. Before you start going on about anything, I want you to apologize to me. I had thought for sure that after 1 month you would have realized how bad of a wife you'd been and come back to your husband. But it's been a whole year now and you haven't spoken to either him or me about anything. You told us you would be there to have your baby after saying you had gotten pregnant as well, but you should have had the baby by now. How much longer before you get your butt back over here? What? You have not spoken to Hudson at all this whole year. And since you're not coming back to him anymore, you are forcing him to have to take care of himself. What kind of a wife do you think you even are? Shelley? I don't want to hear any more excuses from you. If you are really going to take that long to learn from your mistakes, then I'd rather you not come back to us at all. And that means I want you to divorce my son right now. I'll have him get married to his current girlfriend after you're gone. What? You'll have him marry her? That's right. Did you know that this whole time that you've been at your parents' house doing God knows what, my son has made himself another girlfriend to replace your love? And this time he's been going out with her with the goal of marrying her. But you already know all of this is what you get for never coming back to him and letting a whole year slip by. And so because of all that, I want you to get that divorce from Hudson right now. And let me warn you not to divorce him asking for any money either. No settlements or anything are coming out of my boy. You are going to say that the reason for the divorce was due to your incompetence as a wife. It was a good choice of Hudson to find yet another woman after you've been away from him for so long. Listen, Shelley, can you please hear me out for just 1 second? I think there's some kind of confusion here. Huh? What about anything I've said has been confusing to you? Now stop with the talk and send those divorce papers in for us at once. You divorce my son right now, you crappy woman. A real woman would never defy what her mother-in-law is asking from her, so hurry it up. I am with my mother-in-law right now, though. Huh? So you asking me to hand in some kind of divorce papers like that isn't going to do anything. I went to the courthouse a year ago, actually, to hand in the paperwork to divorce your son. What do you mean? What do you mean you got a divorce 1 year ago? That's exactly what I mean. I've been divorced from Hudson for a year now after taking the paperwork to the courthouse. So please, go ahead and have him marry that girlfriend of his if you really want that for him. I have nothing to do with any of that anymore. Huh? I never heard anything about how you and Hudson got any kind of a divorce. Hudson never said a word to me about it. So you're telling me that while over at your parents' house, you went and handed those papers in without our approval? Without your approval? You were the one asking for me to leave him since I was such a bad wife. Actually, you both made it seem as though you wanted me gone, so I did just that for the two of you. Huh? Both you and Hudson were blaming me for being this crappy woman you wanted me to believe I was. Calling me a useless wife as well. A bad wife. So that's why I finally came around to agreeing with you and getting that divorce. Then I returned back to my parents' house, and soon after that, I got remarried. And as of right now, I'm with a very loving husband and a super kind mother-in-law who both care for me very much. Even now, I'm out with my mother-in-law getting coffee and having some laughs at the local cafe. Wait. What are you talking about, Aya? I'm sure I did tell you that the best option was to get a divorce at the time. But I didn't think you'd actually go ahead and divorce Hudson. And you actually went out and handed the papers in during that time? What? So what were all those terrible things you said to me? Just some sort of a sick and twisted joke to make me feel bad or something? You are far too old to be saying stuff like that to me as a joke. But I suppose you really don't know what's right and what's wrong still. Huh? I'm going to let you in on a little life secret here. It is very easy to hurt someone with the words you say. And in my case, both you and your son said horrible things to me. Being with your son and having you as my mother-in-law was one of the worst times of my life. I tried so hard to make things work out, but every time I try something, you both would fight back, making it worse. And, well, after being cheated on a few times by Hudson at the time, you came in for the final blow. You're saying I did? Well, after coming to you for help with him, you told me straight up that getting a divorce from him would be the best for all of us. Do you have any idea how badly hearing something like that from you made me feel? But now you're going to tell me after a whole year has passed that that was some kind of a joke? How much longer are you going to treat me like I'm some kind of an idiot? What the heck? What's with you acting like you're better than me? You don't get to talk to me like that just because you divorced my son. I am actually very frustrated with you for divorcing my son without our approval, but whatever. At least now Hudson doesn't have to worry about a thing and can hand in his marriage papers to that woman right away. That's totally right. I'm very happy that I was able to hand in those documents a year ago before coming back to my parents' place. I need to go and tell Hudson the good news right away. Then he'll be able to get himself that young and cute little woman he's been going out with. And I'm sure that this time she'll be a proper wife for Hudson.
Hey, Aya. Yo, you actually went through with getting a divorce from me? You've already gotten married again back in your hometown.
And why are you talking to me about that? I understand that your mom was shocked by all that, but you had to have known we got divorced, right? I told you the moment I was on my way home to send me those divorce papers we had. And you went ahead and did so, right?
I did. I didn't think you'd actually go through with handing them to the courthouse.
Really? You do realize that the only reason I would be asking for you to send me them is in order to sign and hand them in, right?
I just assumed you were using them as a way of protecting ourselves from ever having to actually get a divorce. Well, they're more for me to have a way of getting you to stay with me, but... And so I thought you just wanted them from me as a way of reminding yourself that I'm your husband and that I was in charge.
What? I asked you to send me the divorce papers, which you did, and then ever since that day I hadn't said a word to you? And you thought for some reason we were still going to be married after what happened there?
Shut up. Normally one would say something before handing things like that in. But you never did that, so all of this is on you.
Here we go again. You're going back to blaming me for everything. Well, you can forget about me because we're no longer a thing, and you have a girlfriend now that you need to marry. I've already heard about her from your mom, but you happen to be with a woman you're actually planning on marrying now? Well, go ahead and have a wonderful life with her, please.
What about any of this is going to be wonderful? Her and I already broke up.
What? You both broke up?
A lot of things changed with us. My mom and I were planning on having me divorce you and then marry another woman. And that's why I had made sure my mom was there to introduce me to a woman like her. But just as things were looking good for me, that witch told me she has a husband.
What? So the girl you were dating ended up having a husband?
I was so serious about wanting to marry her. But she told me in the end that she was only with me to fool around. So her last words to me were that marriage would never happen between us, so that she ran. But what makes all this worse is that her husband found out about me. So right now I'm being asked by her husband to pay him a settlement that I can't refuse.
Oh my gosh. You really went ahead and got yourself into quite the predicament there then.
Having to pay that kind of money to her husband is going to be impossible for me. Since you're never around for the whole year, I've had to eat out every single day. And when the house would get so messy that I couldn't bear living in it, I had to call professional cleaners to come do all that work for me. I've been having to use up all my money every month, as well as most of my savings on all this crap. Right now, I have nothing in my bank accounts.
Really?
And that's why I need you to come back to me right now, or else I'm doomed. You happen to be making more money than me, so I'll be fine having you as my wife. I want you to come back to me and pay off this settlement. But tell me, why the hell did you get that divorce without my consent and get married to another man? Stop screwing around, you whore.
Excuse me? I think you're the one that needs to get real with me, mister. How about instead of asking me for money when you're broke, you go and ask your mom, who you always have as your buddy? I don't give a crap about you anymore.
Are you just going to throw me away then?
I sure the hell am.
You leave that man you're with right now and come back to me. You're supposed to be here helping your husband.
You are not my husband, though. And after marrying a man like my current husband, I learned something. That you are the worst man on this planet.
What?
My husband doesn't care how much effort I put into my work and doesn't ever say anything hurtful or rude to me. And in place of any of those horrible things, he will compliment and praise me for my work. He tells me all the time that he won't lose to me and will step up the effort he gives in his job as well. He's taught me that as a couple, you should never be a sore loser about the other person, but rather use them as a way to improve yourself. And since I've now learned that with him, I am never coming back to a pile of trash like you.
No way.
I am not going to listen to crap from you about how I needed to learn to read the air when all you could do was cheat on me with another woman and talk down to me like I was the idiot, when you couldn't give any effort at your job to make yourself more money than me.
What?
I'm glad to hear that the woman you loved so much has been married the whole time and that her husband is going to suck your pockets dry. It's what you deserve after being the most toxic and crooked husband a woman could possibly have. You always talked to me about how amazing of a man you were compared to me, so figure that mess out on your own since you are better than me. And with that, I don't want you to ever contact me again. Listen to me, Aya. Hudson has been awful to me. He's been using up all my Social Security to pay off the settlement he was asked for. And it appears that the husband who was asking him for the money is loads already. But now he wants my son to give him $100,000 as the settlement. What? He wants that much from Hudson then, huh? Wow. You really got Hudson involved with the wrong kind of woman there, didn't you? And to make things worse, because of that, he's going to be quitting his job now. It seems that the man whose wife he was going out with has connections to the company he's been working for. And so for the past week, his higher-ups have been trying to force him out. He's really had to go through a lot of trouble this week, it seems. He lost the woman that he loved, the money that he had left, and the job that he was making said money from. So, this is why I'm asking you very kindly, Aya. Can you please come back to my family and help us out? What? After looking into you a little bit, we saw that you got another promotion recently. Right now you're making around $500,000 a year, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. I am thankful for everything that this company has done for me and for it changing my life exponentially. And luckily, I haven't been talked down to at all for taking this promotion, as both my husband and mother-in-law understand how much my work goes towards them. So by having all that support from those two, I really feel as though I'm shooting through the ranks of this company. And both myself and Hudson understand the importance of your job as well. So please, get rid of the husband you're married to now and come back to us. Really? A year ago, you were telling me I was in the wrong for making more than my husband, right? How the hell do you understand the importance of my job when you say things like that to me? That was a joke then. Right now, both Hudson and myself really respect you and your work. And thinking about things now, it's important for both the wife and husband to be making lots of money, right? Thinking about how the times have changed, you are really a fantastic woman and wife. So, from what I can tell, you're lying through your teeth right now about me. All to just try and get me to come back and help you two. I think that if you came back to us, you'd be the most important woman ever to us. And from now on, I will not be allowing my son to cheat on you any. I will be your friend until the end of time, all right? So please come home to us. I'm telling you right now that you'll never miss your current husband or his mom after this. I happen to know tons of great cafes in town where we can get coffee and chat. You are starting to disgust me now. So could you stop it with all that jabber? What? Also, it's not that fun for me to have to go out and drink coffee with someone that I despise a ton. So no thank you. I'm tired of being disgusted by you, so can we be done here? What? No, you hold it right there. What the heck? What do you think you're doing, calling me disgusting? Well, I'm just telling you the truth. You told me at first to divorce your son, and a year later you're back acting like that was all some kind of joke? And the moment things started to get bad for you and your son, you've come crying back to me, asking for my help, saying that you never meant anything back then? It's disgusting that you're behaving that way. That's the only way I can describe it. You're like some kind of housefly spreading all the crap on your legs all over my things. Excuse me? You did say that your cheating son happens to be really good looking. So I'm sure he'll find himself yet another woman to love in no time that you both can abuse. Let's just hope she's stupid and rich so that she'll fall into your guys' trap. Now I'm getting off my phone. I literally have nothing to do with you both anymore, so stop trying to get me back after you forced me away. After that, Hudson ended up leaving the house he was in to go back to living with his mom at her house. But before long, rumors began to spread around town about the mother and son duo that are so stupid they never knew that after a whole year his wife had divorced him. And about how embarrassing Hudson is for running all the way back to his mother, crying for money to pay off the settlements. With rumors like that all spreading around about those two, it's a surprise to me that either one of them is still able to live in that town. Because of all those rumors, Hudson found it really hard to get with any other women, and resorted to going to speed dating parties. But after going to a few of them, they started to ban him for being too insane after asking so many girls to marry him and take him away from his mother.
Hey Irene, is now a good time? I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry that I had to take off early so suddenly. Was the rest of the meeting okay? Did everything go well?
Oh, hey there, Sally. Yeah, I think the rest of the meeting went fine. If you're really curious, though, the notes are up on the shared drive. You might want to give this a quick look over earlier when you get to the office tomorrow.
You really are the best, you know that. I really am so grateful for you taking that over for me. I mean, you basically did my work for me.
Well, I get that life can be hectic and that sometimes you need to call on others for help. But anyways, I heard that you weren't feeling well. Is everything okay?
Right, well, that was the excuse that I gave. I did tell people that I wasn't feeling good so I could leave.
So then you're saying that you're not really sick at all? I'm sorry, why did you leave work then?
Well, that's because I wanted to leave work early, of course.
Wait, what? So you just lied to get out of work today? Are you kidding me?
I know, it's bad, but I just had something important that I had to get done today. I didn't have any choice. I had to go. But I knew that having to explain all that to our boss was going to take forever, so I just pretended that I wasn't feeling all that great.
I see. Well, did you take care of the business that you had to leave to attend to?
Yes, I did. I actually just finished right now, so I'm all done.
Well, that's good at least. Okay then, I guess I'll just see you at work tomorrow then.
Oh, wait, that's not all I had to say to you. I actually have something that I just have to tell you.
You have something you have to tell me? Well, what is it?
I have to tell you about what it was that I had to leave work to take care of. The truth is that I went to the city courthouse.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. The best time to go get stuff done there is probably during the weekend while everyone's at work.
That's right. And the thing is that the reason I had to go was because I had to sign papers to officiate my wedding. I wanted to get it all done so that they could be processed by tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer, and I really wanted to do this right now.
Hold on a second. You were at the courthouse to sign wedding papers? Is that right?
Exactly. The reason why I had to leave work early was so that I could get married.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea that you were even engaged. This is amazing news. Congratulations. Is that what you wanted to tell me, that you had gotten married?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. After all, I know that I've come to you with a lot of problems and things that I want to discuss, so I just wanted you to know this.
I see. So I take it that you must have married that man that you're always talking to me about then, right?
Yeah, he finally decided to propose to me, and I just couldn't wait. So I wanted to go to the courthouse and do our civil ceremony right away. Not only that, but it's also my man's birthday, so it was the perfect day to do this.
Hold on a second. So you got married today, which is also your husband's birthday?
Are you surprised? I knew that you would be. After all, your husband's birthday is today as well, right?
Wow, you sure do have a head for some dates. I didn't even know that you knew anything about my husband.
Well, it's not hard to know all that when my husband and your husband are the same person.
Wait, what? I don't get it. What do you mean by that?
You still haven't figured it out yet, have you? I'm telling you that the man I was always going to ask you advice about, the man who I am now married to, is none other than your husband.
Wait, I'm still not following here. Seriously, what are you talking about?
Let me put this simply for you. Your husband and I were having an affair behind your back. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But whenever I've talked about my boyfriend, the nights we've spent together, the trips we've gone on, everything was always about things I was doing with and to your husband. But now that you know the truth, I really just can't help but laugh. It really is so funny that it took me telling you for you to figure it out. You can't be serious, right? Are you really having an affair with my husband? I have said pretty much that in at least 3 different ways now. But affair makes it sound so dirty. The truth is that Jerry and I love each other and now I'm his wife. Wait a second. So you're telling me that you went to the court to get married today and the man who signed those papers as your husband was my husband, Jerry? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you finally starting to put it all together now? But that can't be. I mean, Jerry and I aren't even divorced, unless you're also telling me... That's right, you've already been divorced, and you didn't even know. He did it 3 days ago. You mean that Jerry divorced me 3 days ago? But I don't remember ever signing or agreeing to anything at all. I don't get it. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. You see, your husband asked me to look at examples of your handwriting, and so I just forged your signature. And then Jerry and I went to the courthouse together to submit those papers. But that's illegal. Sally, you're admitting to a crime right now. You realize that, right? A crime? What are you talking about? I don't get how anything that helps 2 star-crossed lovers like us marry each other could ever be a crime. We were only doing what we had to do before we could get married, you see? I don't know what to say right now. Well, I certainly hope that you're not going to try and put up a fight about this. It's too late anyways. What's done is done. But, I mean, to think that Jerry would actually cheat on me with you? Well, he didn't cheat on you. He was only sleeping with his future wife before I became his wife. So I think you need to realize that he is all mine and no one wants you. You 2 are divorced now and you're nothing to him. So I want you to pack up your things so that you can leave your house and make room for me. I'm sorry, you're telling me to move out of my own house? Well, no duh. I know that you and Jerry live together in that huge place, right? That house has got to be at least $1 million. I told Jerry that I want to live there with him. I've already started packing my bags. The only thing that's left is for you to move out. And once I move in, I'm finally going to quit my job and become a housewife. Is that really your plan? You're going to quit just like that? Have you even told anyone from the office that's what you're doing? I was actually going to tell the people who needed to know after I finished talking with you. But I just needed to make sure that you knew this had all already happened and that there would be no point in fighting it. So after work, why don't you just go home, pack up your things, and get out of my husband's life? Anyways, Jerry and I have a little dinner date to celebrate our getting married. I've got to go now. Wait, what? You can't just say all of that and then just run off without any further explanation. That's crazy. Jerry, what in the world is going on right now, huh? Did you seriously divorce me and get married to another woman? You realize that we were still in the middle of working a lot of things out, weren't we?
Well, I figured that this was just the easier way to do things. Besides, I didn't think you'd go along with the divorce if I brought it up.
That's because I only found out that you were cheating on me a week ago. We were still in the middle of talking about what we were going to do. But I guess you already know what you wanted to do since you went and got us divorced. What in the world were you thinking doing that, huh?
Well, I thought that it was the only way I'd be able to marry Sally. Don't you get it? I mean, did you really think that I would choose staying with you when I have a young, pretty thing like Sally waiting for me instead? Why would I do that to myself? I tried explaining that I wanted to end things, but you just weren't having it.
You really have some nerve, do you know that?
Well, you can only blame yourself. I told you about how I wanted to marry a woman who was a housewife. You were the one who said that you wanted to keep working and you didn't want to be cooped up in the house.
And just how do you think we're supposed to pay off our mortgage with a single income? Don't you realize that we can't afford me to quit my job and stay at home? I mean, you certainly don't make enough to keep up with all the payments on different things that we have to make. Why would you just go and do this?
Oh, don't worry about the mortgage. I already paid it all off. That was around the time when I asked you if you wanted to quit your job and become a housewife instead.
You really think that that was the only reason we had to worry about money? I know how much of a big spender you are. There is just no way we could ever afford me to quit my job.
See, there you go again. Not listening to me. I'm telling you that you can quit your job and let me take care of you. And you're just shooting me down right away without even thinking about it. So like I said, you really have no one to blame but yourself for this one. How can I feel that you really love me if this is the way that you're acting?
What does any of this have to do with how I love you?
Wow. If you really love me, then you just do whatever I said when I said it, right?
You can't be serious about that, right? Please tell me that that's supposed to be some kind of bad joke.
Yeah, you're just proving my point, you know? Anyways, it doesn't matter now, because we're divorced. And I have a new wife as of today, so I'm afraid that you can't stay at the house any longer. I want you to pack up your bags and leave, Irene.
Are you kidding me? You know that you can't just kick me out, right?
Well, I told you last week that I wanted to get a divorce. I told you I wanted to marry someone else.
I know exactly what you were doing. I know that you wanted to divorce me just so that you could marry this other woman. But we still had so much to talk about. We weren't through discussing alimony, lawsuits for the affair, how to split our assets, all of that stuff.
You already know who it is that I'm married to now, right?
That wasn't even on the list of things that I wanted to talk with you about.
Well, the point is that I put up the money for this house and I want to live with the person I love. I just don't need you anymore.
So you're telling me that you really love Sally? So much so that you're willing to just kick me to the curb like this? That's how badly you want to be living together with Sally?
Yeah, does the factor of divorce not tell you all that you need to know? Don't talk to me like we're married anymore.
Well, fine then. I guess since you both want this so bad, there's really no point in arguing anymore.
It's more than just a want for this. It's a need. Our hearts are tied to one another, and that's why we can't live without each other. We're soulmates. Don't you get that? We're always going to end up together because that's what the universe wants for us. We're only following the universe's plans for us by getting rid of anything in our lives that might keep us apart. And that includes you. Now that I've met Sally, I know that there's nothing else I need. And with that, I say goodbye.
Wait, what? You're just going to quit talking to me just like that? We still have things that we need to discuss, Jerry. Hey, answer me right now. I'm serious.
Hey there, Irene. I just wanted to say good work yesterday. I called the office yesterday and I found out that you also ended up taking some time off, didn't you? Don't tell me that you had to use some of your paid time off to pack up all your things just for me.
You have got some nerve coming back to talk to me after you told me what you were doing with my husband.
Well, I really am sorry that things had to end up the way they are. I'm sure that you're going through a lot of difficult emotions right now, but that better not slow you down while you're moving out. You are clearing out a space for me at Jerry's house, right? Have my bags already arrived there?
Your bags? What are you talking about? Have you already started sending your stuff over?
Haven't you heard? I'm going to be moving into that house from today. Jerry and I want to start living together as soon as possible. So that's why you need to keep packing up your things. Don't keep me waiting too long.
Wait a second. You mean that you were going to move into this house from today?
Well, of course I was. Once you move out, there's really no need to wait any longer, is there? That's why I thought you'd be done by now. Didn't I tell you that that house was my dream house? I've always wanted to live in a huge place like that, and being there with Jerry is just going to make it perfect.
I see. Well, you know, even though I'm fond of the house, I don't think that Jerry wants to give it up. But the house is worth so much more than when we first bought it, you know?
Well, I'm just so excited to be living in my dream house with my dream man, tending to my garden while he's at work and then making sure dinner's ready before he gets home. It's going to be simply amazing. But first, you have to move out of there so that I can move in. Just keep an eye out for my luggage when it gets there and bring it into the house for me. I don't need you to do anything else for me after that.
You really think that you can just boss me around like this? You must really think that I'm going to just get up and leave.
I don't really know what you think because I already know what's going to happen. You and Jerry are divorced. You shouldn't be living together. You need to just get your things and go. That way I can finally be with my soulmate for the rest of my life.
Right. Well, the only problem there is that I own this house.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Jerry told me about how he was the one paying for the house, so that means that it's his house, right? I don't know what else to say except that it's my name on the mortgage. But that can't be right. That's my dream house. You can't be the real owner. I'm not sure what you've heard about the house from Jerry, but the house has always belonged to me since we moved in there. You have to be lying to me. Jerry said that he was the one who paid the loan. Well, the loan is certainly paid off, but I was the one who paid it all. But that can't be right. It is. I paid for the house, the utilities, the insurance, everything. I can show you some of the bank statements I have that prove it all. Please tell me that this is some kind of bad joke or something. You know, if you don't believe me, then that's really on you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I own the house. But Jerry told me that the house cost over $1 million, and if you paid for everything, then just where did you get that money from? Oh, come on, you don't really think that I could afford to have all that money lent to me with our salaries? I don't understand. How did you get all of that money in the first place then? How did you afford to get a loan large enough to cover all that? My dad took out the loan for me, if you must know. Wait a second, you mean you asked your dad for help? That's right, my dad owns his own business, so he has quite a bit of capital and has access to those kinds of loans. So I asked my dad if he could co-sign my loan, and in the end, he ended up accepting liability for about 4/5 while I took on 1/5 of the total amount. But then because my dad paid off the loan, I was basically just repaying my dad with no interest. So when I finished paying for the house, I really just finished paying my dad back. But then, doesn't that mean that the house would actually belong to your dad in that case? Well, my dad actually passed away last year, but before he did, he changed the name on the deed to me and I inherited the land. But then, how did Jerry end up thinking that the house was his? You two started seeing each other about a year ago now, right? I think that Jerry was so obsessed with his little love affair that he didn't even bother to check about the process. He was always too busy lying about being busy with work to check that his name had been put on the deed as well. When my dad died, he told me to handle everything by myself, and so I did. So then, he didn't even make sure that his name was on the deed? That's right. So not only did I end up paying for the house, but I also have legally and properly inherited it. But then, if you're the real owner of the house, then that means that I won't be living there. No, it means neither you nor Jerry is going to be living here, since Jerry has no right to stay here now that we're divorced. So I suppose you two will just have to find somewhere else to live. But you can't do this to me. I already sent my bags over there. Right, well, when the delivery person comes, I'll just refuse to sign for the packages. Don't worry. But if you don't pick up all my things, then what's going to happen to them? Won't they get sent back to me or something? I don't know. Why don't you go call Jerry and ask him to figure it out for you? I have to go and call my lawyer to tell them that I'll be pressing charges for the affair you two were having. Although I guess since I imagine you've already canceled your lease and are all packed up, you probably don't have a place to live anymore. So I guess I should have my lawyer send his letter to your parents? You want to send the letter saying that you're suing me to my parents? Why on earth would you do that? Well, don't you think they should know about the crimes you committed? And I'm not just talking about the cheating, you also impersonated me by forging my signature. Oh, come on, you're not really upset about that, are you? I told Jerry that I would divorce him when we worked out all the details of how it would happen. Instead, you and him snuck around and ended our marriage out of convenience for yourselves. And if you think that I'm going to take that kind of identity theft lightly, then you're dead wrong. Anyways, I'll go ahead and tell my lawyer to forward those letters to your parents' house. After that, the delivery person with Sally's bag showed up. I followed through on what I said and refused to sign for them. I heard that Sally and Jerry had to spend 2 hours trying to collect their bags from the mailroom. I heard that Sally did end up moving back in with her parents, but when they found out what she had done and the trouble she was in, they kicked her out before a week had even passed. Now, Sally and Jerry lived together in a cramped apartment. They couldn't afford anything more since their jobs found out about what happened. They were both severely demoted. The day Jerry moved out of my house, I took some of my dad's favorite snacks and went to go visit his grave, where I told him all about what happened to me. Oh, Nina, hello there. It's your favorite future sister-in-law here. Thank you so much for the wonderful share that you put on today. I love the vegetables and rice you make because it tastes so delicious. Above all, it helps you stick to the household budget, right? Hello, Natalie. You're welcome, I guess, but I'm sorry, I don't quite get what you're getting at. Could you please clear this up for me and tell me what you actually want to say? What are you even on about? Did I do something? Didn't you realize that I made the rice and vegetables especially for you to feel welcome? You're my neighbor and you're also my younger brother's fiance, so I want us to get along. That's why I gave you that food. I didn't think I'd get a lot of money each month. What's all that supposed to mean? I am so confused right now. When you put it like that, it makes me sound like I'm begging you for food. Do you think I'm that desperate? To be honest, it comes off a little bit like that these days, Natalie. You drop by here without letting me know you're coming and ask for a share of my food. Then you won't leave until I give you something. To be honest, it's rather annoying and sometimes it makes me anxious. You think that's annoying? What a horrible thing to say. It would be such a waste to throw all the leftover vegetables that you've got into the garden or in the trash. Don't you think I'm helping you by taking your food with me? That's why we aren't wasting food, and I'm helping you eat it all up. Wait, what? Why are you bringing this up, Natalie? Well, since you're living alone, you wouldn't be able to reduce the amount of food and other vegetables you cook without giving it to someone else, right? It's such a waste to not give the food to someone. So don't be like, why are you talking about this to me? If you continue to be so narrow-minded, you won't be able to marry anyone. I don't see what me being single has to do with me cooking. What are you getting at? But there are so many connections when it comes to the things you do. You should take this as an opportunity to look at yourself in the mirror and reconsider things. Otherwise, marriage for you will keep being put off until no one wants to be with you. Huh? Why are you jumping from one subject to the next? Why are you criticizing me so much? Well, people who are good at cooking and growing things in their garden are in high demand. A woman who's got a lot of those characteristics get married really early, right? However, you're still a miserable single lady, Nina. Once you reach the age of 35, women like you become so narrow-minded. I've only just recognized why you're still single just now. If I was really that narrow-minded, Natalie, you'd not receive any food from me and I'd keep it to myself. The fact that I share vegetables and other dishes with you is a great thing. My heart's as big as the ocean and I love giving to others. Maybe that's just something that you'll never understand about me and that's fine, but don't criticize me all the time about it. Then why haven't you gotten married? There's no way a man would leave a woman to be single if they're such a good cook. I suppose no one has any interest in being with an old and wrinkly 35-year-old like you. I hope someone as kind as myself appears in front of you soon. It would be such a waste to leave you single while a wonderful man is wandering around looking for his perfect wife. I'll be coming over again next month to get my share of your food so it doesn't go to waste. It's the summertime, so I'm looking forward to being able to eat the watermelons and other fruits growing in your garden.
Hi there, Nina. I just wanted to send you a message saying I'm really sorry about what happened today. It seems like Natalie just decided it was her right to take your food from your house. I can't believe that she took such a large amount of vegetables and other dishes from you.
Yeah, I finally told her what I think about it today. I told it to her straight that it was such a nuisance of her to just be coming over without telling me. She just keeps coming over whenever she feels like it, but when it comes to her, she doesn't listen to anything I say at all. She told me that she was going to come by next month as well.
I've also told her many times that you've got to ask to go over instead of just dropping by. She's completely burdening you by going over there and just taking the food that you work so hard to make. I've told her over and over again to stop causing trouble for my sister, but I also get the same treatment that you do. She doesn't listen to me at all either.
I was told that it would be a waste since there are leftovers anyway and no one else will eat them. She claims that I'm living off my own poor leftovers.
She very much thinks she's doing the right thing, but she's just being pushy and wanting your food. I'm so sorry about what she said to you, Nina.
Even though I'm trying to take care of the people around me, she's still looking down on me like I'm filth. She was teasing me again today about my age and how I'm single. It's got nothing to do with her what my life's like.
What the heck? Why does she think she's got the right to question you or treat you in that way?
I've been hiding a few things from you, but lately her behavior has gotten really bad, so I needed to tell you. I'm sorry, but if you're seriously going to get married to a woman like her, I'll have to consider going out with someone so she'll get off my case. It's mentally tough to stick together for a long time, especially when your in-laws are treating you like crap.
Yeah, I guess there's not much choice in the matter. But I'll also be a little more cautious around Natalie, in case she steps out of line. The wedding ceremony's coming up, so maybe I'm just on a high about wanting to love her and marry her, so I don't see what she's really like.
If she didn't treat me like she does, she's actually a really nice and happy lady. For the time being, I'm just going to try and keep my distance from her, at least until she calms down a little bit. Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with you. Natalie, can you please answer me? Why have I been kicked out of the wedding venue? How is there no way for me to get inside? Please, hurry up and let me in, otherwise I'm going to miss everything. Oh, Nina, I'm just so sorry. I'd like people who are not suitable guests for the wedding celebration to refrain from attending the ceremony. I'm sorry that this decision has been made without your knowledge and it's such short notice, but you can go home now. So, can you please leave the venue? Are you seriously kidding me right now, Natalie? You're saying that I need to go home now? What do you mean that some guests aren't invited to attend? Don't you realize that I'm the groom's big sister? I have never heard of anyone's relative getting kicked out of a family wedding before. But Nina, aren't you still a miserable single person? It doesn't really go with what we wanted for the ceremony. Even if you're a relation to the groom, I want to avoid people like you. What's that even supposed to mean? Why are you using me being single as an excuse to kick me out of the ceremony? Because weddings are for celebrating the happy couple while also being surrounded by other happy couples. It's a place for husbands and wives to commit to each other and to express their eternal love for one another. And you wouldn't understand because you're single and choose to be alone. Don't you realize that this isn't the place for you to be? How dare you say that? Are you kidding me, Natalie? That's a terrible thing to say. I only just realized this today, okay? All the guests that were invited have wonderful partners or are married. Amongst all of those guests, you're the only one who's single. If you were staying around in a place like this trying to mingle, wouldn't you get super jealous? I'm just trying to do you a favor here. I'm saving your own skin from embarrassment. This is so unbelievable. I just don't fully understand your reasoning for doing this, Natalie. Did you really kick me out of the ceremony for this stupid reason? Hey, I'm being dead serious here. Only happy people should come to a wedding ceremony like this, in such a place. People who come and are single give off bad vibes. I don't want the only wedding I'll ever have be tainted by negative people and them moaning about being alone. Your wedding wouldn't even be tainted as I don't give off any negative vibes at all. That's not true at all. You give off such a miserable and negative aura. I can see it from miles away. Just having someone like you hanging around brings sadness and depression to everyone in the room. A woman who's still on the market is so out of place in a ceremony like this. Fine. Have it your way then, Natalie. I'll just go home. Ah, okay then. Just leave the congratulatory present behind so we can pick it up on our way out, okay? As always, you're so crude. I'll just leave the gift on the ground and go home as you wish for me to do. But if you ask me to come back later on, I won't do it. That makes no sense. What are you talking about? Why would I ask you something like that for anyway? In fact, I feel so relieved that the person who caused such a nuisance has disappeared. Now I can be happy and my wedding will be full of joy and love. Nina, I really need you to come back to the wedding venue right now. Oh, I can't believe this. My father's so angry. This isn't good. Oh, I wonder what's gone wrong. What's going on over there? For some reason, he suddenly noticed that you weren't here and he started making a huge fuss. So when I told him I said to her to go home, he got super angry. He started screaming and said that the wedding was to be canceled immediately. He told me to his own daughter that it's not worth marrying a woman like me if I'm going to do something like this. Oh my, that's actually crazy. He sounds extremely angry then. Your father's usually so calm about these things. What's gotten into him? What am I supposed to do? Why did my own father get so angry about kicking you out of the wedding? You know, he's got a point, because I also don't know why you'd do that to me either. Maybe your brain is turned to mush because you were so excited that you found a way to only have happy couples at the wedding and then you'd be happy? What the heck is that supposed to mean? You think that doing something like this isn't normal? Well, any normal parent would get angry over something like this. You kicked me out of the venue for silly reasons. His own daughter kicked out the groom's older sister for such a stupid reason. I can see why he's angry with you. Apart from that, I feel totally in his debt now with him understanding how insane your actions have been. On top of that, I also hid how you've been treating me from our parents. If they found out what you really wanted, it would be an inconvenience to you. So you did this without saying anything to your parents. No wonder they're angry after they saw I wasn't at the venue. What? Now just hold on a minute. How do you know about what I was thinking? I ended up telling your parents everything you've done to me, that you've been forcibly taking the food I cook from my house. I heard you also brought the food over to your parents' house and told them that you were the one that cooked all that food. What are you even saying? I didn't lie to my parents. How do you even know all that? Before the wedding ceremony started, I went over to greet and have a little chat with your parents. At that time, we started talking about you. They told me that you'd recently gotten into home gardening and cooking, which made no sense to me. You told them that girls change a lot when they get married, but when I asked for more details, I ended up telling them it was me who made all that food. When I told them the truth, they started to panic a little, as you've never been the one to lie. You're the one making up lies. Did you just confess everything to them? I definitely thought that your parents were misunderstanding the whole situation. I never thought that you'd be actively lying to them. Tisk tisk, Natalie, you must never tell lies to your parents. But how could you sell me out like that? Then you go ahead and kick me out of your wedding just because I'm single. It's ridiculous. It's no wonder your parents are furious at you for lying and then kicking me out of the venue. I looked out for you and took care of you, but you just treated me like crap and looked down on me. All because I was single. On top of that, you told me to leave your gift behind and told me to go home. You care more about gifts than people, Natalie. I didn't really mean to. It was just a joke. Just please come back to the wedding venue so we can continue with the ceremony. And it will also appease my parents, so please come back here. Both of them are quite angry. I've never seen them this angry before, and I can't help but do anything to fix it. If things continue like this, the wedding might actually get canceled, no joke. I told you before, Natalie, I wasn't going to come back to the venue no matter what happened. You know that you agreed to that, right? Yes, but my wedding could actually get canceled because of something so silly. Well, that's your problem. I just plan to laze around at home now. I hope the wedding, which only happens usually once in a person's life, goes smoothly. Are you trying to ruin me or something? Nina, what happened yesterday? Why did you really not come back to help me out? This is all your fault that my wedding didn't go the way it was supposed to. After my father got angry at me for kicking you out of the wedding ceremony, he gave me no choice and canceled my wedding in front of everybody there. What happened to your wedding shouldn't be blamed on me. You were the one that lied about everything, and I just spoke the truth to your parents. Cut the crap, Nina. You were trying to sabotage everything for me because you're that kind of person. It's because you did so many unnecessary things to me. My mom and dad were worried about my marriage. That's why I sent them food and vegetables to make them feel less anxious about the whole thing. I was just showing my parents the love and respect that they needed. Then you go and ruin all that. But you don't use someone else's meals and vegetables to show that. It was my cooking you were giving them, not your own. What you were doing was wrong in the first place by taking what isn't yours and making it come off as your own. Oh my God, Nina, just shut up. You're such a miserable and single old hag. I don't want to be told this by the person who thinks I'm not respecting my parents. Are you kidding me? You're the one who's been lying to them, okay? Would you quit it with the stuff about me being miserable and single, please? Well, that's why you'll be single no matter how long it takes to find you a man. You always snitch on people. Don't get so carried away with your crap just because you're good at cooking and can grow vegetables. It's not much of an exciting thing. I was almost able to get married even without learning how to do that. If anyone is the worst daughter, it's you. You're a miserable, single, 35-year-old that can't hold down a man. You're such a stupid daughter for lying to your parents. How are you still saying so much nonsense about me? Because I can. What are you getting at?
It's because of you that we're here today, talking to each other, and you begging Nina to do something about what you've done. But you, oh no, you turn everything on me, even though you're the one who got angry yesterday. You still haven't reflected on what you did to make things happen the way they did. Then you decide to continue to make fun of Nina. I've had enough of your crap, Natalie.
Wait just a minute. Is that you, Dad? Why the heck are you using Nina's phone for?
I came over here to apologise to her in your place, since you're too stubborn to. Your mother and I came over to apologise for what our stupid little daughter did. How could you lie to us like this?
But, Dad, I was just trying to look like a good daughter.
Nina was so kind to actually accept our apology. She didn't have to do that, but she did. She then showed us her garden. When we told her that we had started a garden after we retired and that we had been unsuccessful, we thanked her for the advice she gave us on how to grow vegetables. Why would you treat someone as kind as Nina like you have? We taught you better than that.
I just can't believe that you're not taking your own daughter's side in this.
The vegetables you so brazenly took from her took a lot of time and effort to grow. I got it for free, and you didn't even pay her back for it. And you don't even thank her for it, you just took it as your own. On top of that, you constantly look down on her for being single. It's pathetic, Natalie.
This isn't what it looks like, Dad, I swear. That's just how we are, you see? It's the way we communicate.
What's that even supposed to mean, Natalie?
Even though we're sisters-in-law, we're sisters, right? You can say anything you want to a sister. That's why I don't thank her for many things. Even if you're a single person, it's just the way we communicate with each other. We just joke around.
You think this is how you should treat a sister? Are you kidding me, Natalie? You realise that your marriage is in jeopardy now because of how you treated Nina, right?
Huh? No way, really? But I hardly said anything that bad to her.
Beside us being here, Cole's here as well, to apologise to Nina for how you've acted.
Are you serious? Cole's there as well? Please don't involve him in this, Dad.
He also told me that he doesn't want to go through with the marriage anymore.
Are you kidding me? That's not fair. I didn't do anything.
You treated his sister like crap, Natalie. Think back on what you've done. You've been so rude. Think about how many people's feelings you've hurt. I'm not going to interfere with the couple's problems, but whatever the outcome is, it's your own fault. Even if you come to our house crying, I don't intend on letting you in.
Nina, what am I supposed to do? I can't get a hold of Cole. Where is he? He's not breaking up with me, right? Cole's still at my house. He's going to move out and live here for a while. That's why he came over to ask to stay at mine. What? He wants to live apart from me, but I really need to talk to him. Look, I don't know if Cole will break up with you or not, but he needs his space. But he put the marriage registration papers through the shredder, so I think you've got your answer. Are you kidding me? Why would he do that to me? I'm definitely not ready to break up with him. Why is this happening? I just wanted to begin my marriage with a happy wedding surrounded by happy couples, and you've gone and ruined it. I hardly said anything bad to you, and so what? I took some of your vegetables for my parents and myself. It's not like you needed them. That's not the point, Natalie. You'd come over without my permission and took what you pleased. I might be single, but I'm happy, and you need to back off. Just help me get back Cole. I need him. He's all I've got now. Please tell him to come back home. Your problems are not mine to fix. You need to reflect on how rude you've been to me and your parents. You can do that thinking all on your own. Good luck with that. A short while later, a discussion was had in the presence of both families. Natalie apparently came by with a tearful apology and a 150-page essay on what she did wrong. She said she decided to stay away to reflect on what she did. During that time, Cole was living at my house. I've been doing a lot of business trips lately, so he's been very helpful with taking care of the vegetables in my garden. He told me that I always make the most delicious food, and he helped pay for the food costs. As for Natalie, she rented an apartment near her parents during the separation period. While helping her parents in their vegetable garden, she was bossed around by her strict parents. I don't know if she regrets what she did, but all the vegetables she sends us are fresh and delicious. I guess she wasn't such a bad gardener after all.
You've got to be seriously kidding me right now. You've completely sunk your jaws into my older brother, haven't you? What on earth do you think you're playing at?
Huh? Haley, what are you talking about? I haven't got a clue, to be honest.
I went to all the trouble to go over to my brother's house and hang out with him, and then I see my brother making food. That's not his job to do that. You should be the one who cooks and makes the food for the household. You're the one who's the wife, not my brother. Stop making him do things that he shouldn't be doing.
Okay. First of all, he's in charge of the household and he does whatever he can to help out. He's actually very good at cooking, so he likes cooking dinner for us. And he decided to take that responsibility on as his job allows him to work from home.
Are you kidding me? That's not how it should work. Just because he works from home doesn't mean he has free time, right? It doesn't matter if you work at home or in the office. He still works hard and shouldn't have to do any housework. In fact, it's quite difficult between switching from an office job to also doing housework. You should be the one taking care of the house.
Yeah, you've made your point, Haley. I know what you mean, but I've got a long commute. It would be more efficient if Nick did all the housework as he's around more often. Instead of me doing that, I pay for all the living and food expenses. I don't get why you're always coming at me. You've got some kind of beef with me, obviously. Let's just show your beef with me was ranked top of the charts, and of course it's delicious to have.
You're just such the jokester, aren't you, Selena? Thinking that you can make fun of me? So what, you're only just going to get carried away with all the living expenses, so my brother is left with nothing. My brother really threw his life out the window by marrying such an old hag like you. I guess it's just a normal thing for you only parting out for the living expenses, isn't it?
What are you even talking about?
Since I'm coming over, it's only natural for you to stuff your face full of food. Of course, I'm your husband's sister after all. It's fine to be anxious. But it's just common courtesy to treat me with some respect, though.
Me treating you with some respect? Are you kidding me? You do realize that you just called me an old hag before.
I don't see what's so wrong with calling an old woman an old hag. You're just about 6 years older than my brother, after all, so the old hag and my brother did get married, you see. I wouldn't get too carried away with getting much support as a wife. You're responsible for all the living expenses and the housework.
Are you serious? You think that I'm going to take all of the responsibilities on by myself?
But you're completely making a mockery out of my brother. You do realize that, right? For today's meal, we'll have my brother cooking the meat, all right? You'll just smile and eat the meat like you're supposed to. It's not always like this, okay? It's just a rarity for him to cook for everyone.
But, well, it's almost always like this, though. He's the one that cooks. I want us to eat freshly made food, and so it's important to sit down and eat first.
Are you kidding me? It's always like this at your house? If that's the case, then I'm going to be checking on you every day until things change. I'll keep a close eye on you so that you're not using my brother for everything. It's not fair on him.
Wait, what? You're going to keep an eye on me? Don't you think that's too much?
Nope, it's just necessary. From now on, I'm going to come by your house every day and eat dinner until I see some change. My brother is to never make dinner again, as it's not his responsibility. You're going to be the one cooking for my brother and me as well. You're to stand and wait in the kitchen until we've finished every last bite of our meals.
I intend to teach you the right way to be a wife, since you obviously have got no idea how. But that's just not going to work out. No matter how fast I try and leave work, I'm never home before 8 o'clock at night. And you're saying that I'm the one who should be cooking every meal? Well, all you've got to do is try harder at being a good and obedient wife and make food for my brother. At least try and be home around 5 so you can cook food. If you're any kind of wife, your family should be more of a priority than the work you're doing. But my work isn't going to allow me to come home early, and they know Nick's at home to do things for me. I don't care. Be a decent wife for my brother. When I'm finished my college classes for the day, I'll come straight over to your place. In addition, I'll be checking that you're doing the cleaning and laundry along with the cooking. I'm going to test you if you're actually a suitable match for my brother. I'm going to do a thorough inspection of you, Selena. Nick, I need to talk to you. I was wondering if you could talk to Haley. It's about her coming over to our house. She needs to stop coming every day. It's stressing me out. I'm surprised at how much she consumes, and it's costing us a lot to feed her as well as us. Above all else, she keeps calling me to hurry up and get home to do chores.
Oh, Selena. I'm really sorry about that. I've told her so many times to not interfere with my marriage, but she doesn't listen. She says it's for my own good, that she's inspecting you. That's why she's not listening to me and is telling me to stop spoiling you.
It's obvious that Haley has a thing for you, and that's why she's always trying to slot herself into our lives. I never thought that this would happen, even after we got married. I thought I was allowed to marry you because you and the rest of your family accepted me.
It seems that Haley doesn't acknowledge us as being married at all. She doesn't accept that we're together. I was told by her that it's not too late to go and marry someone else.
Are you for real? She said that to you? She has some guts saying that.
It seems she doesn't really get the fact that I'm in charge of the housework. I wanted to be in charge, and it works well for us. She seems to think that you wanted to marry because you wanted to make me your housekeeper, or something ridiculous like that.
You've got to be kidding me. You're my husband. I never want that for you. Honestly, I was thinking of hiring someone to do our cleaning. It must be really hard for you to balance work and the housework at the same time.
No, it's not difficult for me at all. I enjoy getting the break from work to do housework. It's relaxing. Even though I don't earn much for us and have a lot of free time, I don't see any need for us to hire someone to clean our house. I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. I can handle it all just fine. And if I can't, I'll tell you.
What? Really? Are you sure? I really don't mind if you're struggling with that, but if you're fine doing it, I won't.
I just feel bad that I'm not doing as much as I thought I'd be doing with becoming a freelancer. I thought I'd be piled up with actual work. I never expected my income to drop so much. It makes me feel bad. That's why I feel like I've accomplished more in the day when I've got housework to do. Please don't take that job away from me as well. I've got this.
I did notice that you were stressing out about the drop in income. I'm telling you now, I'm working as well, so you don't need to worry too much about the money you earn.
But it makes me feel like I'm not doing anything productive for us. Even though I'm younger than you, my income has decreased a lot. I'm really sorry for being such a hopeless husband. I feel like you can't rely on me at all. It's also because of me that Haley has misunderstood our situation, what you do for us.
I just thought that her and I would just get along, but I've just got no idea how I can do that. I guess I don't have a choice but to act more like a wife and do what she's told me to do if I want to get on her good side. But anything I try and do at home, I can't live up to your standards of cleaning, folding, and cooking.
You don't have to be good at everything you try and do. I'm here to help you. Also, she's got no idea how much I earn and doesn't have a right to tell you what to do. I mean, I'm just a low-earning freelancer. Let me explain to my sister that you're the breadwinner and working really hard for us. Also, I should probably mention about Haley's tuition fees.
Huh? Why do we need to talk about her school fees for?
I feel like that's something we need to discuss, right? Both my parents passed away at an early age. As the older brother, I should be the one to pay for Haley's school fees. But I never expected that I'd fail at being self-employed, so I should tell Hayley that it's actually you who's paying for her schooling, and maybe she'll back off from you.
No way. You can't tell her that, Nick. I'm telling you now to keep that a secret to yourself at all costs. Do you understand?
But I don't get it. Why do I have to keep it a secret? If I tell her you've been paying out for it, then she'll change her view about you. In fact, I think you should be the one to tell her the position you're in.
But I don't think it's a good idea to say anything. I'm not really paying for her tuition out of the kindness of my own heart. I just didn't want you to feel bad about all the expenses you had to part out for her and feel how bad I felt as well. Like you, I lost my parents at a young age. I had a hard time going to college without any scholarships or allowances from my parents. There are just some hardships that are better left unsaid. No one needs to know about those payments. It's like I'm paying without permission.
But Selena, you've given so much to me and my sister.
Besides, I want Hayley and I to be equals, not higher or lower than the other. Even though we are in-laws, we're sisters as well. If there was a lot of money involved, I'd be strangely reserved and wouldn't know how to get along with them. I want Hayley and I to have a relationship without any reservations. I want a sister of my own as well. Therefore, we'll make it look like you're the one who's paying for her tuition, okay?
Are you sure? If you want to do that, we can. I'm sorry, I just want everyone to get along and maybe saying something like change her mind about you.
It's okay, don't worry too much about it. Let's hope we can convince Hayley to be more friendly to me. No matter what, I can't get home from work any earlier than I do now. I don't have time to make a lot of food for Hayley. It would be helpful if you took charge of the housework and the cooking if I don't make it home in time.
Of course, that's not a problem. I'll do my best to take care of all the errands. I'm also working hard with my job as well as the housework. I'll open up more businesses and get more work for myself. I'll show you someday that I'll be able to pay for my sister's tuition all by myself.
I look forward to seeing how hard you work, but don't overdo it too much. I still want a functioning husband at the end of the day. Well, what did you think would happen, Selena? I just filed the divorce papers between you and my brother. With this happening, my brother should finally be freed from your grasp. I won't let my brother be in love with you anymore. What the heck, Hayley? What divorce papers? What are you talking about? Don't do anything hasty, Hayley. Why would you do this to me right now? This is all your fault, Selena. Good thing the lock's been changed. That's why you can't get back inside the house. Nick changed the lock all on his own. No matter how many times I told you to stay away, you still came by every day. It's not like I didn't give you any instructions. I'm not the one who's lying through their teeth. You are the one that's been bossing my older brother around like some kind of pet. You told him not to let his troublesome sister in the house, and he was too scared not to obey, so you've just made him your puppet. If I'm there, you can't treat my brother like a housekeeper. I don't treat him like a housekeeper in the first place, Hayley. My brother is so kind, has good housework skills, and is the best man. What's more, he has quit his outstanding job at a large company to be a freelancer, and this is how you treat him? An old hag like you sticks to my brother like a parasite. You need to release my brother and leave our family alone. So, as a last resort, I filed divorce papers on your behalf. What do you mean that I'm a parasite stuck to Nick? That's so wrong. It's not like I'm dependent on him. We complement each other's weakness and get along well. Really? You think I'm going to believe any of that crap? Are you being serious right now? We all know you suck the youth out of my brother and put him to work all the time. What do you even mean by that? You've got no idea how things are run around here. If I was my brother, I would dump you and marry a different woman who is wonderful and does what my brother says. But because you're such a parasite, we can't escape you. My brother is the kindest man on this planet. I'll be the one to throw you out if my brother can't do it, but it's all okay now since I filed the divorce papers. My big brother can finally escape from his parasite of a wife. We've been unable to communicate about this issue. I can't believe this has gone so out of control because of your assumptions about me. Oh, shut up, you old hag. I don't need to hear this. You're to no longer be called my brother's wife. I'll make you disappear. So you don't think your brother isn't a parasite? Huh? What do you mean? Even though I've got a big heart, I'd be furious if someone were to file divorce without my permission. When things like this happen, I've got no choice but to tell you everything that's going on. What the heck are you talking about? What do you mean by everything? I mean, I'm not the one who's treating my older brother like a parasite. That would be you. But now he's able to live off the money I make. I'm not the one who's a parasite, Haley. What? I don't get what you mean. I'm sure Nick could have married a more beautiful woman that obeys him, of course to a girl who's younger and prettier than me. But now he can't live without me in his life. That's why he can't marry another woman, even if he really tried to not love me. I do wonder what to call this situation if I'm not the parasite here. Whoa, okay, just hang on a minute, okay? What's wrong with my brother living off your earnings? My brother is a successful freelancer. You both earn a lot of money. He's made a lot of money by starting his own company and leaving his other job. I'm sure that income is more than double what it used to be. He's using my money because his freelancing job isn't going so well. He's earning half the income that he earned at his previous job. He's more dependent on me now to earn money for the family. What? That can't be. How can he be dependent on you? It's true, Haley. He said that work is harder to come by than he expected it to be. He's doing his best in sales, but don't you think he's too kind? That's why he gets haggled to only paying the lowest price for his services. So it doesn't lead well into the next job he does. To be honest, his income hasn't increased at all. Are you for real? He's earning pennies for all his hard work? This isn't fair. That's why he can't live without me, because I part out a lot for us. I pay for all the living expenses and taxes. Sometimes I even help him out when he gets into debt or takes too much from his overdraft. But my brother's the one paying for my school tuition. Since my parents are no longer around, he's taken over in their place. He's been paying for my fees for quite a long time. It's impossible for my brother to have such a small income and still pay my fees.
That's right. I didn't have enough money to pay for your schooling, so she's been the one helping pay for you. Actually, she paid for all of your tuition.
Wait, you're the one who's been paying my fees? Wait a minute, is that you, Nick?
And yet what did you do for me, Haley? I can't believe that you filed a divorce between Selena and I without telling us. Did we even ask you to do that at all? Did I ask you to release me from this family? Why would you do such a selfish thing to someone who's been trying to help you?
I've only been thinking about what's best for you, my brother. I've only been used to you being in my grasp, not another woman's. Even though she's your wife, she's making you do almost everything at home and leaving it all up to you. That's not your job, it's a woman's job. I definitely thought that he was suffering under your command.
And whose idea was it that the housework should be done by the wife? Your ideology is so archaic, Haley. You're just a student. So why are you being so stubborn and acting like this toward me?
I'm just looking out for my brother. Are you really not the one paying for my schooling? Is it actually her?
Yes, she's been paying for you to go to school. Since I failed to become more independent, I couldn't wait to show her this side of me. But she wanted to remain kind to you and try to pay for all of your tuition by herself.
Oh, is that how it went down then?
What's more, I asked you to think about my feelings in all of this, and this is what you do to me. She's a lovely and kind-hearted person. I've been very lucky to have married a woman like her. But because of you, it's completely ruined. How on earth will you take responsibility for this?
What? I don't know how. I was just trying to protect you from her. I never thought something like this would happen.
If you don't take responsibility for what you've done, I wouldn't bother showing your face in front of us ever again. I don't want to see your smug face in front of me or my wife.
But what for? I hardly did anything wrong. It was all just a misunderstanding, that's all.
You should be the one to repay back the tuition that she paid for. Whatever you do, even if it's just a loan, it'll definitely be repaid. That's the least you can do for me, as I looked out for you since our parents died. Other than that, I've got no intention of having anything to do with you anymore.
Now, please, just wait a minute, Nick. It sounds like you're wanting to cut me out of the family. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not just wanting to do that. I'm going to do that so we don't have you ruining anything more in our marriage. I've said this so many times already. I want nothing to do with you anymore. I tried and I tried, but I'm done.
What does this mean?
Don't show your face at my house ever again. I should have done this a while ago. Enjoy life by yourself, little sister.
No, Nick, please. You can't do this to me. You're all I've got. Don't leave me alone. I later found out that the divorce papers were not filed properly. Thanks to the government's response, the general rule is that they don't accept submission by anyone other than the people involved with the divorce. So it seems that the divorce wasn't accepted by the courts. However, Nick had no intention on forgiving Haley for what she's done. From now on, it seems that he'll not provide her with any assistance other than her school fees. He's also ordered her to repay the debt for submitting divorce papers without our permission. With that, she started to work part-time at a bar to pay it off. In order to not get on her brother's bad side any more than she has, I hear that she's working hard on her studies and paying off the money she owes him. The kinder people are, the more angry they get when you betray them. Nick said that no matter what happens, he won't interact with her anymore. And that's what he'd do for the rest of his life.